Okay, everyone. I hope you can still hear me. I'm starting the
Yep.
recording myself, so we can get it. I think we can just wait 2 seconds to wait for the notification to be triggered on the phones and on the app for people to be joining us immediately. Good. For the first time ever, we're gonna have three people recording at the same time. That has never happened before. Um, Hello, Eli. Hello, John. Thank you for joining. We're gonna have, I think we're gonna invite you on stage, both of you actually, a little bit later. Um, so good. All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening from Brussels. Good morning if you are in California or somewhere else. I'm Pierre Camille. I'm the CEO of Hospitable under hospitable.com. We have plenty of news we tend to have on those town halls on a bi-weekly basis. I've invited Ben, and I would love to invite Sam if he's here in the call. That would be really great to really commend him on his work that he's been doing on the product in the past few weeks, in the past few months. But I'm not sure he's here with us at this point in time because he has to take care of his family, as absolutely would be expected. If you do not know who we are, we're hospitable.com. We are the leading product for hosts to automate the conversation with their guests and get some fees back while hosting on Airbnb, on Verbo, and on Booking.com. I'm going to go quickly over some updates that we have to share in the team, and I'm actually going to start to invite immediately someone new in the team who is Ivan. There is kind of a ritual that when somebody starts in the company, they don't know, they cannot expect, they actually are completely clueless as to the environment that they're stepping in. Ivan is probably one of those. How are you doing, Ivan?
Well,
Can you
I'm
hear
going
us?
good.
You're doing
Yes.
good. So you just joined us last week, actually, as a DevOps and infrastructure engineer. Go ahead, introduce yourself. Everyone
That's
here in the audience are users of the product. So go ahead. Who are you? What are you doing?
yes. As you said, I'm infrastructure and DevOps engineer. Currently, I'm in Spain and I joined the team last week. I have just finished my initial onboarding and will start working on my first personal project.
Good. And what is DevOps and infrastructure about? That's a shitty question, to be clear, because there is basically a lot of debates about that. But go ahead, Ivan. What is
Yes,
it
I
about
hope
if
you
you were
have
to, yeah.
about 3 hours available.
Maybe you condense it in a few seconds.
Okay, so DevOps is some kind of procedure and agreement inside the companies that everyone should follow, and infrastructure is actually servers that are running our code that we are doing our magic for you,
So
something like this.
Ivan is the guy that is in charge of keeping the application up, making sure that it's up to speed, and helping the developers ship new features and new products for you. That is really what is great about Ivan's job. It's sometimes can be a bit under pressure, but thank you, Ivan, for joining us. And yeah, we'll be looking forward to the first personal project that you will be having with the team.
Thank you.
Um, I will, let me just get Nikita and Ben as moderators so they can basically let people in later today. Just another update in terms of human resources of people that are joining the team. We have just now extended an offer to a future head of support. So that will be an additional member for our support team. He will be based in Florida, which actually happens to be our third largest market in the US. So very close to customers. So let's hope that he accepts and we can recruit and move forward with the onboarding quite soon. Some numbers to share, just a few like top headlines. There will be an update on that on the calendar and the speed of the calendar, but there is really a correlation between how fast the calendar is on the product and how happy our customers are. We always want to check an eye on the product and the customer satisfaction about the product, and this seems to be going back up really in a very healthy way since the beginning of the month of November. And that's great because we have passed now 4,700 active customers. We have also achieved another record for our business, which is, if I may say so, the number of listings that we charge for, which is actually the tiniest number that is of relevance for our business. So that's about 20,688 listings that are active, that have check-ins in the past 30 days. In completely unrelated news, if I may, Cloudbeds has raised $150 million from SoftBank, and that's really great. That's the biggest round that is happening in the software industry for a particular market. So congratulations are really due. And they are serving 20,000 properties worldwide based on their press release. That's great. We have not raised $150 million, and I don't think we will know what to do with $150 million with a small team of 18 people. But our fundraising is nonetheless going quite well. We have fundraised, you will see the counter in a few minutes, going to $99,517 just after 2 weeks of going live with our new investment portal that is available on invest.hospitable.com. There are many more investors that are going to be joining in the next few days. We've had two successful group meetings with about 35 investors. So a huge thanks to every one of them. I think Eli is one of those. If you want to raise your hand a little bit later, I would love to have you join on stage to talk a bit more about why you invested. And so yeah, a huge thanks because that will help us in particularly to go above and beyond, above what we could do as a bootstrap business in investing into our product and our support. So I will leave the product updates to Nikita and Ben, and oh boy, do we have a few things to say. Nikita, what has the team been working on these past 2 weeks?
All right, I'll start with the bombshell immediately. So those of you who haven't yet already seen this, you can now publish your direct booking website. So first of all, John Ann, thank you for the suggestion, the very subtle or not so subtle suggestion from last town hall. We took it to heart and we worked on it quite a lot over the last 2 weeks. And yeah, basically anyone now who wants to can start to finish create their site, put their properties on it, change any photos and any text, and publish the site, including on their own custom domain. So start to finish the entire process. There will not be any payment processing available now. What you will have is the availability from your properties properly reflected in a calendar on the direct booking website, and the button request to book leading to a booking form again hooks up to the same calendar that anyone can request to book from there. That will show up in your inbox, and you can message that guest and you can take a decision on whether or not to allow that booking. That entire system works from start to finish, and that's fresh from the oven. We silently rolled it out on Monday and have been fixing a few issues along the way since then over the last 24 hours, but it works. There are rough edges. We're working through all those issues and we'll be adding features bit by bit. So please do be patient with us, but do send feedback along to us as you find anything to report, or you want to see something added, something missing, let us know. We are collecting all the feedback and working through it one by one. So like I mentioned, custom domain names, yes. Publishing, yes. Requests to book, yes. Payments, no, not yet. That's the next major thing that we're working on. So that's the big direct update. We're really looking forward to your feedback on this. Moving on to slightly smaller but still heavy hitting stuff. Sam did join a bit later, so shout out to Sam from our team. He's been working a lot on the calendar performance over the last couple of weeks. We heard you, we heard your pain. Sam heard it as well. He's been doing a great job, and I think you will have noticed that the calendar is significantly faster over the last few weeks and days in particular. There have been marked improvements over the last 48 hours in particular. More work will be put into that, but we're soon actually reaching diminishing returns in terms of how much more performance we can squeeze out of that particular side of the app. But look for some slightly more improvements on that front as well.
And
Okay.
I just want to say, sorry, I'm interrupting. I'm sorry for that, Nikita. But the performance of the calendar is actually definitely going to be an improvement in the performance of direct booking website directly, because it's the same calendar that's obviously getting displayed. So the fastest we can make it happen, the fastest basically you have the page, the booking page can load on your direct booking website. So the two are closely related. Sorry for that.
Yep. No, that's a great point. Okay, and then a few things in terms of what we're working on next. Obviously, we keep working on direct bookings. That goes without saying. But some other things, calendar improvement. Apart from performance, one of the next things that Sam in particular, will be working on is the lead listing or lead platform kind of feature. When you turn on pricing and availability sync, right now there's kind of subtle and maybe not so intuitive behavior in terms of what data, from what source the data is used to populate to all the platforms. Right now it's based on the timing, basically what's the latest, where is the latest change detected, and then that is taken as a source of truth and populated everywhere else. This has been confusing to quite a few customers, and we heard you, and what we're going to be working on next is the ability to define the kind of lead listing and the platform that you want to use as a source of truth, regardless of any other changes. So even if you've got some change happen on Verbo, for example, like something manually edited a day there, Airbnb will remain the source of truth. If you set it to be that, if you want it to be that, and so only changes on Airbnb, for example, would be used to propagate to all the other platforms. So look for something on that front in the coming days or I don't know, week or so, something like that. I'm just seeing Pierre write some notes here. It's basically a copy paste, right? Rather than some sort of more obscure behavior behind the scenes, it's really more of a take it from this listing or from this platform, copy over to other platforms. So that's coming next. Smart locks. Christian has been doing a great job keeping up with that, and progress is great. We had some testing done that was a success. A shout out to Dominic for providing access to Schleg. So that will be going live soonish. I don't have a date. Christian or Pierre might. I'll leave it to them to speak on this, but there has been progress on this front as well. Yeah, last but not least,
I think if to discuss on that, because that's going to be the first question anyway that is going to be asked about smart locks integration. So we're talking about Schleg Uncode. I repeat, Schleg Uncode. And basically, we need to iron out a few things on the front end, make sure that it's basically going to be deployed, and we have a great sequence for onboarding. So the current test is really ensuring that everything is working as expected, because obviously we're dealing with security here. I think we're going to start maybe doing a release or more opening up the floodgates, I think, starting in 2 weeks. So for the next town hall, really, that is the target. I hope I didn't say that too many times in the past few months, but the idea is really now everything on the back end is expected to be functional. The bottleneck now is really the front end and the kind of product interference or flow to connect and match a lock and a device. Should be okay.
Yep, and then one last small thing just to remind, because we have mentioned this before. We are looking ahead to net new features on our Airbnb integration. I just wanted to shout that out. Costin, in particular, is working on that side of things. So improvements across the board coming soon to a screen near you. Take it away, Pierre.
Yeah. So now I actually don't have anything more to touch. Everyone in the team. I'm putting Ben here because we're going to have questions about direct bookings. Ben is a front-end engineer. Ben, you can also kind of recap who you are, if you can talk right now. Ben is in the middle of moving. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry. My dog has decided to go mad. If you hear any echo, really quick story. I'm moving house tomorrow. I've packed my headphones, so I'm on speakerphone. So, apologies for any echo that you might hear. Yeah, my name's Ben. I'm a front-end engineer. I've been working on Direct for the past weeks, I guess. And just want to say thank you so much to everybody who's tried it out so far. I think we've had around 100 sites created in the past 24 hours, and we've had some great feedback coming through. We are looking at it all. We are addressing as much as we can. So thank you so much for that. If you do want to try it out and you haven't provided feedback yet, you'll see there's a yellow banner. When you go into Direct, when you create your site, you'll see this yellow banner. It's a sneak preview in it. There's a button in there. If you click on that button, you can send us whatever it is that's on your mind about Direct, and I promise you we will take a look at it. So thank you so much.
Okay, fantastic. We're gonna move into Q&A now. So I'm just, you can raise your hand if you want to have a question. Obviously, we'd appreciate any conversation about Direct, but you can also bring other subjects. If you are a little bit on the shy side or do not want to be on stage, you can ask a question also on slido.com. That's slido.com. And when you ask for the hashtag, you can enter hospitable. You will have access to a window where you can ask your questions directly right there, and we'll be answering them progressively. And especially, when someone is asking some question that is related. Just one warning, obviously, for everyone that will be appearing on stage is that those panels are recorded. They are made available publicly on our Help Center. There is a specific section when you go on our product for help. There's a little bit of a bubble called Town Halls, and you can listen to past recordings. And I want to say hi to all our customers in Australia and New Zealand that are not particularly well served by this time slot in particular. And basically, we listen to those recordings as soon as they are ready and published. So on that, so just when you are going to be raising your hand and asking to be on stage, you will be recorded. So that is a general wording. I will say that a few times again during the tunnel. So we have already a first question that I would not try to go with, but is there there's a Spanish in a roadmap at this point in time, but we can send messages perfectly well in Spanish. And we have the first person raising two persons raising their hands. So let's go with Tommy, I believe, and later someone
Hello?
else. Hello, Tom. Tom, actually. Hello,
Yep.
Tom. How are you doing today?
Tommy. I go by both.
Fine.
No worries. Thanks for having me up. I appreciate it.
So how can we help you? What's your question?
Yeah, so this is in regards to the locks. So under missing integrations, number one voted integration is August home locks.
Yeah.
260 votes. Slodge has 91. Why did you guys go with the Slodge route?
Because we could.
Because you could?
Yeah, because we could. August Locks doesn't have an open API, and so basically we require another party to integrate with them so that we can get access to the API.
Yeah, so
August Locks has a closed ecosystem, so that's not something that's possible.
Is the ability to integrate with August not possible?
That is possible through that third party, and we have basically been very lucky. We picked a third party that basically has a job of integrating with third party, with those log services. So their roadmap for now is basically this is why we're starting with one. We're starting with the one that they can support. So that is the Schlage encode specifically. If you have a Schlage sense, there is basically what I understand is that there is no new development on the Schlage sense platform, a different product. And they basically will bring that onto the same platform, the Schlage encode. So that basically is expected to be coming, depending on the effort of Schlage engineering team to be moving onto the same platform. August Locks so August Locks is a product that they integrate with already, but they do not integrate with the capacity to create a pin code and provision it in advance. They need to bring it to their own platform to allow us to basically develop. The thing in a way allows us that basically the day that they're ready, there should be very minimal work for us to bring it to market. And I've literally, this is what I've been spending with the team to basically come in. Yeah, I expect it's almost pointless to release Schlage without having an August Lock integration as well, simply because 50% of our users in the US are using Schlage, the other 50% are using August Locks. So that really means that 50% of our customers will be going on support and asking when we are going to release Schlage on code as fast as we can. That's going to be a great proof of concept. Very little work on our side will be needed to integrate with August Locks, and that's great engineering behind the scenes.
Yep. No, and I agree with you guys going ahead, getting out what you can. That makes sense. So just to rest all of our August, all the August users, just kind of rest us assured, you guys are working on this integration.
Absolutely. There isn't. Otherwise, our life is going to turn to hell. Because we know full well this is a long needed feature, and we want to make it happen. And to be very clear, there's no reason why we would not make it happen. Yep. There's no choice for us. So
awesome. You were
looking at the votes. You were looking at the votes. Yeah.
260
for August. Yeah, but at the same. Yeah, sure. No problem.
Yep. No, I love it. No, and I agree. I agree with the approach. So
the item for Schlage, if I may say, about the votes has been released several months after the one for August Locks.
Yep. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for clarifying.
You are very welcome, Tom.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we do have another question quickly on. So still on locks. That's great, and we just released direct. Another question on logs from slido.com. Are you accepting more beta testers for the Schlage integration? I think we received a lot of applications for beta testers. I think we're going to expand it. The problem right now is that this is really a manual onboarding that has to be done by the engineering team directly and creating the records in the database manually. So that's something that we would like to avoid. I think the next step for us to onboard and to open that up is really going to be ensuring that the front end, the product connection is entirely automated and doesn't require, obviously, any kind of manual work. So that is really what we are talking about in terms of release date. Hopefully, we're really crossing fingers, on the 2 weeks time to have something out of the door for you. So we'll not be accepting new beta testers at this point in time. There will be a new milestone that will be reached, and then that will happen. Updates on the financial metrics feature. I don't know what you're talking about here. There can be a lot of things that are being touched upon. So I will not provide more detail.
Nathan, hello.
Nathan,
how are you?
Hello everyone. Thanks for having me. My question is just around, I guess, the direct booking site and what's sort of planned for the future. So, will there be sort of like an integration considered for like guest vetting, where you can sort of do it direct through the site, so it's more sort of seamless rather than having to take it outside the platform? So that was really that's my question anyway. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, Nathan. So we will have basically two different flavors. We will have a basic flavor and a premium flavor. What kind of flavor do you like, Nathan?
Premium.
Great. Premium sounds nice. Right?
Premium sounds good. Yeah, I like the sound of that.
It's not locked in, but I'm pretty sure the marketing team can go with titanium plan or something like that. So it's going to be really simple. Under the premium plan, you have your mini OTA working for you. Under basic, you are in charge. So this is really the two approaches that you have with direct booking. Some people like the convenience of having an Airbnb where the product is actually money and the platform is basically handling a lot of the responsibility. And that's what we're going to replicate with a premium offering. So we will actually be the one processing the amount. You will not have to set up a Stripe account. We'll take responsibility on developing more payment methods. We'll be paying you directly on your bank account that you'll be onboarded with. We will have an integration that we already announced with AutoHost, so that basically your request to book will actually still be pending until the guest has completed their verification. So the request to book that you see now, there will be a change of the behavior with AutoHost under premium. When the guest has completed their verification on AutoHost, you will be able to see on your inbox, on your conversation, the ID card, the ID, the passport that they have. You will be able to see the selfie that they got. You will be able to really know your guests more than you have ever been able to under your own platform. We will also have with SuperHog $1 million or $1.3 million guarantee for damage to your property, and a $100,000 guarantee for liability insurance, so the damage that are done to your guest, for if your damage is hurt, if your guest is hurt. Basically, all bundled within the same offering. And lastly, we'll also provide tax compliance. So we'll be charging. Obviously, that's our responsibility because we will be the one processing the funds. Under that premium offering, we'll also collect the right amounts. We'll pay you the right amounts, and we basically give you obviously all the tools to ensure that you are compliant with taxes. So that is the premium flavor. With Basic, you will connect your Stripe account. You will be the one processing the funds, and you will have to plug the integrations yourself in relation with any kind of offering that you want to do. So that's going to be a more different type of effort. For the premium offering, there will be a discounted rate, but we will be charging an extra fee to the guest that has no cost to you. So the guest is actually the one that's going to be paying for the property insurance, for the guest verification, and for the payment processing fees directly. And that is a fee that will not be higher than 7% for a small amount reservation, and will actually decrease over time because a lot of the costs that we are having are actually going to be fixed costs. So basically, they become more. So for example, for $1,000 reservation, we are targeting that to be around 5.5% extra in addition to the amount that you set and the rate that you set.
Well, that's great. No, honestly, that's cool.
So yeah, you're gonna have
Thank you
your direct bookings, and you're not gonna relinquish anything in terms of ease of use, in terms of compliance, in terms of security, in terms of insurance. And I'm very excited about bringing that to market because what we're receiving feedback from customers that are talking about support for direct bookings is really all about that. Will you offer a guarantee? How would I know? Because anyone can book now. How do you build trust into those products? So that's particularly interesting for us.
That's really good, Pierre. Thanks for that, Matt. Cheers.
You are very welcome, Nathan. And you know what? I want to have John directly.
Hang on, I've invited Monique if she
You
joins.
invited Monique? That's okay.
Because she's been there
John,
for 10 minutes now, I think.
No problem. Yeah. It seems like John is the one that joining earlier. Monique, feel free to join. Yes, perfect.
Hi, guys.
Monique,
yes.
How can we help you? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I have a quick question about your platform. So I noticed when somebody from Airbnb makes a booking request and their credit card is maybe expired or, what have you with their credit card, I noticed that instead of it saying that we are awaiting payment, even after I've already accepted the booking on the Airbnb side or, hospitable, it still shows as the booking hasn't been accepted, not telling me as the host that there's some kind of payment error. Have you guys noticed this, or is this like on your radar as far as, having to get this fixed?
Just to clarify, that means
Yes.
After accepted, the reservation is showing as pending, correct?
It's doing a what?
The reservation is showing as pending on Hospitable.
It's not showing as pending.
It's not showing as pending?
No, it doesn't show. So on the Airbnb side, I can see it saying we are awaiting payment. On the Hospitable side, it doesn't tell me anything like that. So
Okay.
I'm confused as a host when I'm looking at the Hospitable site because I'm like, well, what's going on? Is it an error on your guys' side communicating with Airbnb? Or should I listen to Airbnb's side where it's saying awaiting payment?
Yeah, so
it's
that
confusing.
Is actually no. I completely get that. We actually know that scenario. I do remember Costin basically. So Costin is the person, the engineering in our team that is reporting that. I just wanted to check a clarification to the status that actually is being shown on here. So that is a limitation. Currently, seems to be a limitation on Airbnb's API side. That is not sending the event and definitely is not updating things correctly. So we have escalated a bug report for them. And if Costin, I mean, you know what? I'm gonna if Costin can speak, I think that would be great because he would be able to give a better answer. But I think that is something that was on that is an issue that we investigated. I would have to look up quickly as to what exactly was the answer on Airbnb on that side. But that is something that I've been looking definitely.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because what I've been doing as a workaround, I have a messaging rule set up where whenever there is a payment error, that it should trigger a message to the guest, but that's not happening because Hospitable's not recognizing it. So I've just been copying and pasting it over, and that seems to be helping the guest know what to do. But it would be great, obviously, if the API was working and it could trigger that message, but it's not doing it in this instance.
Absolutely. So we know that for the awaiting payment event particularly, that's something that I believe was not supported by the API, and they're basically developing and rolling out progress. Why is that not something that they've developed? Because nobody asked them to develop it.
Okay.
We are the first one that developed something like that in that regard. So that's something that we expect will be developing. They will be developing in the next few weeks. They do have a busy roadmap for their own development of the API. But for example, if I can give you an example on what is new on the Airbnb API, that is just announced, for example, an endpoint, so a way for software to be able to retrieve the payouts amounts. So being able to pay out transactions that have been made to the bank account, something that you can do obviously yourself on the transaction history. So they always do have quite a bit of features to be developing. Another thing that, for example, just to illustrate and give a bit of context, is that they do not support yet, disputes in the API directly. So all the resolution center claims that you can make on a guest, currently that's not yet something that can be automated on the API. Those are things that are on Airbnb's roadmap. So, and that they have announced to all their software partners, so there really is no secret about it. But that's just telling you that Airbnb, just like every product, is not finished on their API and technical product, and they basically have been very open to basically continually improving that and responding to a request for our usage scenario.
That's awesome. Hey, I have one more thing since you were talking about payouts. I noticed that there's a difference on what you guys show as a payout versus what Airbnb shows, and I think it was a difference of the guest service fee. Have you seen that?
That would not be the case because a guest service fee is something that is not included in your payout anyway, whether on Airbnb or not. So what we are showing, I don't know what is the number of the payout that you're referring to. If you're referring to the number that is in the inbox, we do not show the payout. We show the subtotal, and the subtotal is including your host fee. So that's that is the fee that basically is included. So there is no expected equivalence. Again, that is only because we know the subtotal at any time during from the guest inquiry until the reservation is completed. We only know the payout from the moment the reservation is accepted. And so to have an inbox that is going to display a consistent number, we need to basically display the one thing that we can know, and that is the subtotal.
Okay, that was it. Thank you so much for addressing.
You are very welcome. Okay, who is next? Yeah, John. Sorry, sorry, you were on stage. How are you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing? I can't can't stay away when you guys have your town halls. So.
Sorry for that, but at the same time, everyone is basically owing you one, because that initial direct booking feature is that's a John Ann release for everyone in the team. So it's really what's coming from you just starting the town hall is to why not just having a form to simply get those requests to book rolling into the inbox already. And that I'm sorry we didn't think about it earlier.
No, I think that's great. I was actually going to follow up with your team saying, hey, when is this going to be ready? But now I know. So, all right. So I have a couple things. The reason why I raised my hand was because Nathan asked about, or you were talking about tax. One of the complexities about taxes is the different platforms, right? So Airbnb, for me, I have to collect taxes and remit it myself in my market. And then on the direct booking, if you're doing the tax, then you're remitting it as well. So how does that, have you thought about how that coordination works between platform and the direct booking?
So we will. So that's a great legal question. So we will not be remitting the tax, as far as I understand, and that's probably something that I need to be spending a lot more time on. We will not be remitting the taxes on your behalf, and we will not be registering as an internet marketplace. So you will basically be given the tools to be the ones remitting the taxes on your for yourself. And we are talking with Avalara. We facilitate basically remittance on your behalf with a technical product, so that basically those taxes can be. Honestly, I probably have to look simply a lot more into that, but the Avalara, so the tax compliance in particular piece is going to be about calculating the appropriate amount and then making sure that you receive that amount for yourself directly. The remittance part, that's still something that has to be done manually at this point in time, and that is something that is a burden on the host. I think that's the case for some key markets. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And I use Avalara right now, so
yeah.
Yep. Okay, so that makes sense because I can get all the tax and then remit it with the full booking amount, not just the direct amount. So
yeah.
Okay.
I think we're gonna when we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into taxes. We expect that to be definitely a lot of complexity in there. There is definitely going to be, because you are using Avalara and you're probably centralizing everything for your own transaction and reservation amounts, correct?
Right. I'm centralizing all the data, all the reservations into one number, and then submitting it once a month or once a quarter, depending on what the what's the requirement. Okay, that makes sense.
So but I think that's what we kind of need to anticipate is for you to connect your Avalara account if you already have an Avalara account, rather than just simply because simply it will be a lot easier for you to have everything on the same dashboard.
Yep.
And for the premium flavor of the upcoming direct, that is something that we will internalize as a cost and develop a product of our own, so that obviously you don't have to create those dashboards yourself and pay for it.
Okay.
That's going to be an interesting case. And that, by the way, John, that's exactly going to be the same case for AutoHost. In that if you are AutoHost, which saying that again, there are very few customers natively of AutoHost at this point in time. But if you are an AutoHost customer, you will need to connect your API key to the product, and that will be extending you the benefit of that for direct bookings. But yeah, that will be obviously your responsibility, and we basically integrate it as well. I'm not sure I'm clear. That's okay. Everything is fine. John, you will have AutoHost for your direct booking website. That's just what I wanted to say.
Yep. Yeah, and Toby and I are working on some of the things right now, but okay, that's good. Next question.
Yes.
I haven't launched the direct booking website yet, but I will sometime, hopefully this week. So I'll just throw this out there. Even without the payment processing, I think you had mentioned that there would be a calendar plugin that can be used on Facebook and all that stuff. I'm just curious, where does that stand in terms of functionality and feature?
I will let probably Nikita or Ben reply on this one.
Honestly, I was looking at something while you were saying that. Can you repeat the question, please?
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Nikita.
And
Ben is basically sitting in the middle of his living room with trying to manage the dog. So John was asking basically, how does it fit with how did the widget / embed, when is that gonna be? Actually, you know what? I'm just simply gonna
look, John. Honestly, if you want it, we can probably give you the necessary little snippet of code to use within minutes. Obviously, we want to have it just front and center somewhere in the UI for anyone to be able to use. The functionality is there. So the same thing that happens now on any given site that customers currently publish, that same widget can then be reused anywhere you want. So nothing much changes, if anything, at that point. It's ready to go. If you want it, I can give it to you. and this will actually open up the floodgates. Anyone listening probably will want to do the same thing.
All right, no,
But
here, and again, I'm always happy to test things out, kind of in a sandbox.
Uh-huh.
So that would be great because those are kind of the direct booking features that I want to start testing out so that when you're fully functional, I'm not then starting to test things out, right? So I can reach out to you separately. I don't want to take over the room, but I have one last comment, and then I'll jump back down to the audience. So your inbox for communication, in terms of user interface, one of the things that I wish you would display in the list of messages is which property that message is related to. So in other words, right now when I look at the inbox, I have the guest name, but I don't know which property that guest is related to until I click in. And having that one piece of information would help me and my team kind of quickly filter through what we need to respond to.
You're talking about the mobile view?
I'm talking about mobile. Let me look in.
Yeah, okay, because on the desktop view that does show up. It's just it's a matter of basically how much we can cram into space. But okay, well, at least we will take note of this bit of feedback. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. I'll jump back down. Sorry about that.
No,
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, John. And we'll definitely be using you. I think if there is another John and 2 release to test the booking embed the widgets. Sorry, I was losing. Yeah, it's not the first time that we're hearing that. To be clear about the inbox conversation view not showing the property page, the property in question. It's always on the mobile. It's always been a challenge to basically cram so many information into the same small screen. But that's something that obviously comes up quite often. Hello, Lauren. How are you doing today?
Hi, good morning or afternoon, actually. Thanks for inviting me up. I'm doing well. How are you?
We're doing fine. Excited about the direct booking release.
Intense.
Intense.
I can only imagine. Yeah. So
can I help you? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I have been experiencing a lot of problems and glitches lately. And I wanted to find out if this is something that is being experienced broadly by other users or just a little bit more insight into kind of what's going on at the high level.
Anything in particular?
Yeah. So my guest messaging my guest messages are not going out consistently, following the rules that have been set. So they will kind of sporadically not go out. I also had a problem with the sync function where it was set to sync across different listings, but it didn't actually successfully sync, and I received a bunch of double bookings as a result. There's been a couple other issues too. I don't want to kind of go on and on, but those are just a couple examples, and this has all been within the past, I would say, 6 weeks.
I can start to try and answer some of those. So, well, first of all, a 6-week period, that for us it's a pretty long time frame, and I mean, not to like make excuses or anything, but we do get outages to like on our API connections, for example, with Airbnb, with Verbo, even Booking.com sometimes. So things do go wrong just in our API connections with our partners. So sometimes things can go wrong because of that. Like, for example, not being able to send messages somewhere. We do make an effort to retry those, but sometimes if there's an outage long enough, somewhere within our kind of infrastructure or to do with our partners, there might be failures in a small period of time. So you might have seen that. That might be why some of the messaging failed. But generally, in cases to do with messaging, it's always like case by case basis, because I'm not saying that's the case with you, but there might be misconfiguration options and rules or something like that, or permissions issues with Airbnb. So there might be a variety of issues. So we always kind of have to look at it case by case to see if there's something in particular going on there rather than a wider issue. In terms of sync, again, 6-week period is fairly long, so I don't remember if there was any sync related outage in that period. Pierre, remind me, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there was, but
yeah, there was no particularly long outage, and we're still having issues in particular with Verbo, but there is nothing that is with like relatively short duration outages. Nothing that basically could have a giant impact.
Yeah, so
in that regard.
I don't know if you noticed what we started doing. This was, I think, a couple of months ago, or maybe a month and a half. In the emails that you receive whenever we fail to block off dates in reservation sync, at the bottom there's a note to a suggestion from us to add your properties iCal feed to all of your platforms as a fallback measure. So what that will do is, if you go to any of your properties pages on Hospitable, there's going to be a link to export the iCal feed, and that will be a feed of all your reservations. You can use that to import into your calendars on Airbnb and Vrbo. And what that will do is, with the longer delay, but it will still block off the dates automatically if our normal reservation sync is not able to. So we do suggest that as a fallback measure if you do see a higher rate of reservation sync failures to prevent double bookings.
Okay, so it sounds like you're saying that you're not aware of any glitchiness except for kind of sporadic things that might happen with your APIs here or there. Is that what
Correct.
you're saying?
Yeah.
Lauren, just to be clear, you're in contact with our support team, obviously, right?
Yes.
Good. I'll be jumping on this conversation immediately.
Okay, great. I appreciate it because, it's been, like I said, like a while that I've been dealing with the glitchiness. So, then I guess so I appreciate that, Pierre. The other question I had, I mean, honestly, it's been so long that I have been considering having to look at other platforms, even though I've been with you guys for years. But, but hopefully it all gets resolved and I don't experience it soon. And in that case, with the direct booking website, how will you guys be handling the security deposits if hosts want to take a security deposit or a damage deposit? And what will the rules be if a host opts for Hospitable to fully take care of the payment? What will the time period be for hosts to tap into the damage deposit for damaged items? What are the rules around evaluating our claims going to be? How is that going to look?
I was checking the conversation on support with Lauren. Nikita and Ben, can you step in?
Yeah, on the topic of security deposits, look, the short answer is that is like one of those things that we're lumping in together when we're talking about guest payments as the next step of direct bookings. We will support security deposits. How exactly that will be implemented, that is still a bit of a question mark because that relates to, frankly, implementation details and even kind of legal details with payment processors and so on. But the short answer is yes, we will definitely support security deposits in some form. Hope that answers your question, Lauren.
Well, partially. I mean, yeah. Okay, so you'll take them, but and I guess you haven't fleshed out all the details yet, but I think do you know when you're gonna figure out how you're gonna handle that and what the claims process is gonna be like? With Airbnb or Vrbo or the other platforms, I understand the parameters. Airbnb is a little bit unfriendly now where you have to report damage before the next guest checks in, which if you accept same day check-ins on the same day as a checkout, that could leave you just a matter of a 45 minutes or a couple hours if your cleaners only report a damage to you at say 2 p.m. and the next guest checks in, at 4, it doesn't leave you a lot of time. But at least I know those rules, so I can try to meet them. So do you know when you guys expect to figure that part out?
So yeah, sorry, I won't be reviewing the tickets in the conversation right now because it's simply not going to be interesting. I will look into that after the tunnel. What I want to say is that basically with SuperHug there is an SLA of 30 days to get you to a refund, and that's basically the SLA that they have to submit to proceed to process the claim in entirety. You do not have to wait for the next guest checking in or this kind of oddity on Airbnb side. So you can basically have take a picture, have an evidence of the invoice, and SuperHug reach out to you on every reservation that's covered, so that you know exactly you have a specific link to be able to make that claim directly. And that's basically how then it's what is happening then afterwards is that if that claim is, they would basically ask the guest to compensate for the damage that you have occurred. If they do not pay, they will be if the guest does not pay, then the insurance kick in. But the guest is also going to be on the bad guest list, so they can never be insured by SuperHug again. So that typically is a reason for cancellation, in particular with
Okay.
direct bookings.
Okay, great.
So yeah.
Okay, well, great.
That is obviously with a premium flavor to the direct booking product.
Okay, all right, awesome. And I assume that if we take a security deposit, we don't have to worry about the insurance, that it'll just come straight out of that with evidence, with photos.
You will not be taking a security deposit with direct booking premium, because basically you would have the insurance instead. So the idea is that will remove friction directly from the guest to be booking. There are also limitations to basically the duration of the hold that can be done on the guest side.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Thank you. I guess I can go on to that platform's website to see more of the fine print on.
Yeah, exactly. And
okay.
that is something that needs to be refined also for us. And what we want to do is obviously negotiate the best terms. I know that what I'm looking at is not necessarily, is obviously the clause and exclusions within the insurance. What I'm looking for as well is obviously definitely working on a faster payout period. And we will be working with ideally 2 insurance products. It's going to take a bit of time. We go with SuperHug first because they have a global policy. There is another product in particular in the US, which is Safely, and we've been talking with them, and they are really amazing in the payout time. So it's really their target is really 3 days from the claim. So that definitely is another product, but the guarantees that they offer are 10 times more, so are really significantly more limited in terms of amounts. So it's not $1 million damages. Now, of course, it's very difficult to claim $1 million effectively. So the coverage is much smaller, and the insurance the cost per reservation is definitely higher. So that in that way, we're really looking at far more than 7%. To be quite clear, so there is really a cost consideration as well. That is, if you want to make it for the guest side, that's great. At the same time, it's definitely something that will create more friction in the flow, as you see the fees kind of growing very very quickly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the balancing act that we kind of have to do. SuperHug is superb because basically we don't need to do any particular development in that regard. Safely can be an alternative. But that's something that will be coming later to give you simply the choice of the provider, especially depending on the insurance product that is more suitable to your needs.
Great. And you said one is called SuperHug.
SuperHug. Okay.
Oh, like a pig, like oink oink. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
I think
SuperHug. Okay. Thank you.
SuperHug. Yeah, I hate
Hawk?
this HO later.
No, hog as in pig. You were correct. Pierre, shut up. Stop.
Okay. Okay.
I hate those HO letters. This is something I will never be able to pronounce. Like, very lucky that my name is still, the name of the business is still Smart BNB, right? Okay, thank you, Lauren.
Thank
We'll
you.
get back to you directly. I think, yeah, from what I'm seeing, there has been a lot of exchanging in the past few weeks. So thank you very much for escalating that to my attention directly. I think the team is also doing a good job of kind of investigating really each problem that you've been experiencing. But I kind of want to make sure that there is no pending problem and everything you've come to a resolution with it. Just to clarify, did you add time with Anna?
No, I did ask,
Okay.
but we have not. She sent me that, and I just saw it, so
Okay.
we have not yet.
Good. So we'd encourage you to be there to schedule time. So basically, then I can join that call directly
Okay.
with Anna. If you can add a guest, you can add me as a guest. pc@hospitable.com. You can
Okay.
add a guest in the Zoom call. So that's what makes it a lot better.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'll try to figure it out.
Thank you, Lauren. See you later.
Thank you. Thank you all. Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay. We have Tiffany and Reed. Thank you. Hello. Good day.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Tiffany. So, Nikita, we start.
Well, I invited Reid first, but then there was no response. I invited Tiffany as well. I don't know. Whoever wants to go first.
Hello, Reid. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. Please let me know that it's not issues.
Yeah, I've been poking around.
I'm sorry, Lauren. Okay, I just obviously we take responsibility. We do the right thing here. Reid.
Yeah.
What can I
So
do?
So the idea that I had, it might be kind of related. So I've been poking around a lot on the direct side and sent you guys lots of issues. I really appreciate you guys letting us beta it and find all these issues before we really release it to our guests. But have you guys, and it sounds like a lot of people would want this, have you guys thought about having like a known issues, limitations, and workarounds page where if we encounter an issue, we can know that it's not just us, or kind of track issues that we found in the platform kind of as they go along?
Although a good idea in practice, it evolves so quickly, and we typically handle those, so at least some, really quickly. It would be kind of a nightmare for us to manage that page, honestly. So maybe at some point we can put something together like that, or at least use the feedback, the hospitable.com page as a proxy. But right now it just makes no sense. It's such a fast moving kind of thing that like any issue that you see is likely within 24 hours to not be there anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, I would completely agree with that. When you see basically the time it takes to publish updating documentation, that's easy, but really finding a right way to frame it, sometimes it's just simply faster to get a developer on the case and remove that. Because to be fair, I don't think we're a better business by having a greater list of known issues and limitations. We're a better business because we're going through those. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate the sentiment. Sorry, right?
No worries. Thank you, guys. That's all I had.
Okay, that's all for you.
Thanks, Reid.
Tiffany, we can get back to you. Thank you, Reid.
Good morning.
Tiffany. Oh,
hello.
Good morning.
Yeah.
You may have
Good morning
answered
to
this,
you.
but thank you. Just jumped in. When will the direct booking site be ready for guests to book?
We can answer
Yes.
that. We can. So that depends on what you mean by booking. Do you mean processing the payments? Do you mean blocking your calendar?
No, I mean an actual website. So I'm in need of a direct booking website where they don't have to book on the platforms. I use you guys as my channel manager, and that's great. But we also need the direct booking site. I had Logify at first, but it's cumbersome with their messaging and adding on all the things. I'd like your platform, but I'm missing the direct booking site. So if that's not going to be ready anytime soon, what do you recommend using for an actual website that people can go to and book until you're...
Tiffany, we have released that yesterday. That is the announcement that we made. So you can publish a direct booking website, and they will be able to see your calendar. They will be able to block dates. You will be able to accept the request to book. So that is something that is out there and ready. So you can already start today setting up. If you have not done so already in the past few months, since Direct is basically open for you to configure, you can configure your website. You can decide which properties you want to have that website from. You can have that website under your own custom domain name. So basically, if you want to have you can actually check that website, zerobookingfees.com, zerobookingfees.com. That's actually a hospitable customer that set up. I don't know who that is, but thank you very much. It's a great, great name. Yeah, you can book a property directly right there. Your
Wow.
guest can select the dates. Your guest can add their email address, add their names. So it's a very summary, very short, very simple at this point booking process, and we'll be building on top of it. It's for free. It's for unlimited websites. If you have 1,000 properties and you want to enjoy, a night of despair to create 1,000 websites, one website per property, you can do that, and it will be absolutely for free. And your guest will be able to book. Now, the important part for you is no longer the direct booking website, is what do you want to do with it. It's starting to advertise, it's starting to have a social media presence, it's starting, to get to build an audience for those direct booking websites. And the idea is that we keep investing, obviously, into direct booking website. We can start solving the bugs. We receive the feedback that you can submit, and that guides us into building a better product. And yeah, one day, very shortly, very soon, we do not know when, because there is a lot of complexity, and every time on escalate another layer of complexity on that, is then being able to process your payments, being able to ensure that your guests respect the house rules, and if you have, if you want to, we're hospitable, would also be able to verify the identity of your guests, run background checks, have a list of all the guest emails, verify the location, to ensure that they're not going to be more likely to be fraudulent booking. We're going to be able to insure you with the $1 million guarantee that we touched about just a month before. So we are not just delivering a website. There's a lot of products that are actually going to be associated with that. So yes, Tiffany, you can look into a great platform to make it happen. It's called Hospitable, and you can get your guest to book there.
Okay, great. So I did set up the site in beta. It's just kind of sitting there. I haven't checked it as of late. So I'm going to go play with that. Another question. So when I put my properties on there, I have 4 properties. They're all in the same location. So will the site do the platforms? I really want it to not link directly to the platform, but to be its own standalone, site. Do you have that capacity as well?
I'm not sure I understood that. I think my internet broke down. So you were saying you want the listings to be?
I want the direct booking site not to go to Airbnb or not to go to Vrbo. I want like everything to exist on that website for booking.
Oh, it won't. That's the point. The direct booking website is a standalone thing where somebody can book without touching Airbnb and Vrbo. Perfect.
Now, I have another question. I was told yesterday, so I do have 4 units. They're all in the same location. I was told that I could create like one master listing and just use the 4 apartments as rooms. How would that work with the channel manager? Because currently we have 6 listings, but only 4 of them are really active. But I'm trying to simplify it all.
So you want
parent-child relationship thing?
Yeah, I think it's I'm not sure if it's parent-child. I think it's multi-inventory. Because you were talking about you have the same exact apartments, or same configuration.
Well, they're just identical apartments. There's 4 of them in the same hallway right together, but they are separate listings. And as far as keeping costs down and things, I was told that I could do one master listing and list as rooms. So that's something that's new to me. But I'm wondering how would that affect, Hospitable if I change that on the
we pretty sure we don't support that.
No, we do. We do, but it's definitely yeah.
No,
Justin said that. No, so there. If you're working with another channel manager, that's not going to be hospitable, and you keep getting hospitable connected, then basically you can support what's called multi-inventory rooms. So you basically create one listing and one only. It's just that basically every day it can be booked 4 times, depending on the apartment that basically they will be able to check in. That is something that will require you a complete rebuilding of your current listings. And basically, yeah, you will have to change completely the infrastructure. You would also be locked onto channel managers, because this is a feature that can only be supported by connected software. That's not something that would exist natively on Airbnb. So to keep the cost down, I'm not sure that is the right decision, but that is obviously to your appreciation. What I would say is that if you are creating then as you have currently 4 different listings, and they're actually very, very common units, you will be able to advertise them as 4 units directly. That's not going to be creating any kind of change on the direct booking website, really. It will every guest will be able to book the actual unit that they want to get in, and that there are other decisions and other parameters. So I'm not sure that's something that you have received from hospitable team as to creating a master. I think that was definitely a third party. That definitely is technically possible. We will be able to automate the messaging for that, but there will be definitely some issues if you, for example, are connecting more with Verbo, because for Verbo, I don't know exactly how that would work.
Yeah.
If you have Verbo, and for Booking.com, we also may not be supporting that. So that really would be means that you may have to look into, and you will have to look into a channel manager to consolidate everything right now. So that may limit also the usage that you get from hospitable.
Yeah. Okay. Because I currently use that as my channel manager, and I like it. It was just a direct booking site that I was looking for, so I'm glad to know that that's ready. So currently, you said they won't be able to pay that way. Will I have to take payment separately?
Yes, you will need to pay. You will need to collect payment separately,
But they can
which
book
can be done on
site.
Stripe through a booking link right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Tiffany. And we have Robert.
Just to know, I do need to go, so I'll pop out at this point.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
Nikita. Hello, Robert, if you're here with us.
Pierre, always a pleasure. I'm glad that the country has opened up. Hopefully I get to see you at one of the next conferences. I missed you at VMRA. I missed getting my socks.
You miss getting your socks. We are looking into our own new socks right now. And we are starting a conversation about going to the next VRMA, which will be in Las Vegas in 2022. So you can appreciate that it's very difficult to the team to discuss, not going there. Everyone wants to be there. Absolutely.
Certainly. And again, I didn't think to kick out. I was just listening. I'm sitting here in the office, and so most of the questions got answered. But my question is, so do you currently have it for the direct booking to where we can integrate in a Stripe account, or no, we just have to handle all through Stripe as an invoice?
No, you need to handle at this point in time Stripe directly. So all payments are directly. It's not something that we will be supporting. Now we are going to be working on that as a priority, obviously, in the next few weeks, to getting to a point where we can really get the booking flow that we've always been contemplating, and with all the features that we've been talking about. So for now, you can do everything that you would like. What we are doing is really providing you with a way to get some inbound requests, block the day, get a request to book, block the dates on your calendar when those requests to book are accepted, and having all the messaging automation for direct booking ready. Then later there will be an additional step once we are ready for everything about taxes, compliance, legal terms, all the missing parts to ensure that you have a complete comprehensive booking flow that can be absolutely automated. That's still our goal very much.
Awesome. You're always, I remember when you had launched it and announced it earlier this year about the direct booking, it was really exciting. And you continue just to keep going more and more towards a PMS. And so let me know when you got revenue management, when you got a revenue management system, and let's.
Yeah, that's a different product, revenue management system. So that's more like a Price Labs or Wheelhouse. Like,
Yeah, but
right?
you're tech guys. You can still bring in the guys to. I mean, that's just an algorithm. Look,
Yeah.
we just found out Zillow did a bad job with an algorithm.
Yeah, well, be more like Zillow. Do the things that you don't understand. No, yeah. I mean, that's something. I mean, on a long enough time frame, Hospitable will serve you coffee. It's just really a matter of priorities and resource allocation for the team at this point. We cannot work with more than one priority, and we're already working on two with direct bookings and smart locks. But there is another year that's going to be coming soon, and we'll have new priorities and new goals. Okay, Robert, anything else that you wanted to add? I'm checking Slido if we do have any kind of other questions.
We have had one more on Slido, and
Yeah, go.
it is related to direct. So I'm happy to take this one, Pierre, if you're cool with that. So the question on Slido was, can the direct booking website have a search feature and a map view? The image grid layout is not very functional. So this is something we're aware of. We have a single template at the moment, which, as you've seen, has a grid view. So if you have, up to 20 properties or so, it's fairly functional. If you've got, more than that, up to, hundreds of properties, we do want to do something for you. We are going to be working on a template which does include some search filter capabilities, some cool stuff with maps. It is in the pipe. It's not ready yet. I don't really have a date for it, but yeah, we kind of feel the pain and we're aware of that, and it is something that we want to do something about. And the other version of that as well is we have some customers who have just a single property website. And at the moment, they will get the same site template as everybody else. So you'll still get that landing page, which will just have a link to one property, which is not ideal. So on the other end of the spectrum, for those customers with one property, we are working on a template as well, which will take you straight into the property details, straight into the pictures, the amenities, the check availability. So yeah, more to come on both of those fronts.
Yeah, and we'll that's a good point. Obviously, on templates, we definitely do want to keep investing into getting you more templates and ensuring that you get a choice of experience. We're starting with one. Just to be clear, every problem that you experience right now is going to be fixed. It's just going to be taking a bit of time to make it happen. We'll add more features progressively among time. What you see here is really what is referred to as an MVP. It's a minimum viable product. You can have a website. You can get it on your custom domain name. You can see the property details and amenities. Is that the best looking? No. Do we know that? Yes. We'll do something about it? Yes, progressively. But I think at this point, the next extension for our product is really going to be to do that payment processing and the bits that really make it a great experience for you as a host and ideally for the guest as well. And we'll keep improving on the designs, on the experience for your guests. That's what we are absolutely after. And we want to reach you to the same level of maturity for other product that we have, particularly with guest experience, and keep improving the performance and feature that we can get. How long is that going to take? That's going to take months. That's going to take years. But we keep investing. We talk about investing. I'm sorry for that. But the product is never finished. There is always going to be something imperfect. We are still looking at optimization and perfection for the guest experience product. So there is no reason why that will not be the case for a product that is new for us as direct bookings. Okay, I think we're gonna end it here. I think. Oh yes, everyone has wanted to raise their hands has received has been on stage. Thank you very much, and we no longer have any questions on Slido. Thank you very much for your time. You'll be able to access this recording again on the Help Center on the download section in a few moments as soon as basically this is getting uploaded. Thank you very much, every one of you, to upload. You were up to 140 during this time. Thank you very much. Have a great evening from Brussels, and good luck, Ben, on your move.
Thanks
for
for
tomorrow.
Thanks, everybody. Speak to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.